My gosh. Oh, almost fell off. This is unsafe. Do not do this at home. Hey, it's Sam and welcome back to my booktube channel. In honor of this being my third video, I bought this cute tiny little mic so I don't have to project my voice because I am so tired and anything to save me some energy, I'm taking it. This simply makes me 200 times louder. I'm loving it. And this mic's £30. Probably got ripped off, but it's fine. Today we are going to be doing a bookshelf tour. I spend way too much time organizing my bookshelves, so I thought someone else should really see the hard work that I'm putting in here other than my brother and my boyfriend. That's why you're getting this video. And while we're going through the shelves, I might also move some things around. You know how it goes when you get an idea, like I should put this here, I should put that there, and then suddenly 3 hours later you're like, all your books are on the floor and you're starting fresh. And I might be in that kind of silly goofy mood today where I kind of want to move everything around, so if things are not in the same place as where we start, don't worry about it. I'll put in a montage of me moving things around. I wanted to caveat this video by saying that I will be showing a lot of special editions, a lot of hardback books that are honestly quite expensive, and I just wanted to say that I do have a full-time job and I choose to spend my disposable income on books, and I'm lucky that I do have disposable income at all to spend on these like gorgeous editions. And I kind of don't want anyone to see me with all these books and think like I need those as well, because no, you don't. You definitely don't need all of these books to be happy. You are a true reader, whether you have one copy of the book, you listen to it on audiobook, you have the ebook, and you don't need all of these things in excess. And I just think that's really important, like moving forward in this video, especially because I know that I have a lot of books and I know that at some point I need to kind of cut down and get rid of some. I sound like an addict. In some ways I am, but yes, I just thought that was important to mention. Oh my gosh. Oh, almost fell off. So we have transitioned to the top shelf within my room, and this is kind of like a gold foil theme that I've gone for. Oh my gosh. I'm standing on my wheelie desk chair, so if I start spinning, it's because that's why I'm on a chair. That's not very stable. This is unsafe. Do not do this at home. So one of the first things we have on the shelf is this lovely cute candle, and I think it goes with the theme so nicely because I've tried to be one of those bookstagram girlies. This is £2 from Primark and it's very cute. On the first shelf we have The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow, which I haven't read, but it sounds really good. Maybe I'll read it this year. And we have a copy of the Illumicrate The Lives of Saints by Leah Bardugo, and it's absolutely stunning. No, I haven't read it. Perhaps I will read it in celebration of the second season of Shadow and Bone. And then we have Jennifer Saint's books, which is Ariadne and Electra, and these are like Greek mythology retellings. And you know, the golden foil, I had to put them up here even though I haven't read them. I've only heard fantastic things. I'm excited to get to them. I even bought the signed edition, so I know I'll like this. And then in the middle here, we've got the Fairy Loot flower pot, and it is inspired by Crescent City, and I love Crescent City, so I had to put it on here. We've got an arc of the Atlas Paradox, which I love, and the Diva Bad trilogy by S.A. Chakrabarti. I have not read these, okay, fine, but everyone I know who's read them has given it rave reviews, and my best friend Amy May Reads on TikTok, she is also obsessed with these books. She's Egyptian, and this is an Egyptian fantasy, so I must get around to these ASAP. We have a copy of The Luminaries by Susan Dennard, and this is the Illumicrate edition. As soon as I received it in my Illumicrate box, I put it straight up on here because god damn is it shiny. And I did actually really enjoy this. If you enjoy YA fantasy and monsters and kind of like paranormal elements, like creatures in the night, then you'll really like this. Then we have a 10th anniversary edition of The City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I actually did get to meet Cassandra Clare last year and she signed my book for me. Isn't that so cool? I think if you're a fan of the Mortal Instruments series or like the Shadowhunter world, then like this is a great edition. Like it's so pretty. I have a hardback of the Atlas Paradox, and I think, what edition is this? Okay, fine. I have the Waterstone signed edition. I didn't realize I had this. I kind of forgot. But you see like how the colors all go together so nicely over here? Obsessed. On the end here we have the 10th anniversary editions of the Legend series by Mary Lou from Fairy Loot. I read this series 10 years ago. It was a big series for like a YA dystopian in like 2012, 2014 kind of time, and I was absolutely obsessed. Like I remember bawling my eyes out at the third book. So when I saw Fairy Loot were doing special editions, I had to buy them, and I'm hoping to do a reread at some point because I never read the fourth book, Rebel. But I love that the spines match up. You can see here I've kind of gone with like gold, but like colours that go together, or at least I hope it looks good on camera. Otherwise, don't tell me anything bad. I spent so much time trying to organise these books together. Meet you on the second shelf. Welcome to my second shelf. We've kind of got like the silver and the reds on this side, and then over here was kind of like an Atlas 6 shrine, and it's kind of just evolved from then really. Over here we have the Fairy Loot edition of Babel by Arif Kwang. I listened to this as an audiobook and it was absolutely phenomenal. If you are a dark academia person who likes explorations of colonialism and language, complex characters and amazing storytelling, you will absolutely devour this. This edition is also so stunning. I've got kind of random stuff going on in the corner here which I haven't sorted out yet, but I do love this basket, which is "Heroes don't get happy endings, they give them to other people." A quote from Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, which is one of my favourite books of all time. We have A Taste of Gold and Iron by Alexandra Rowland, and this is the Broken Binding special edition. I heard is an epic fantasy with a gay bodyguard romance and has a lot of political intrigue, and it is another one that I'm hoping to get to in 2023. This book here I faced outwards because I absolutely adore the spine, and that is The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew, the Illumicrate edition. I read this last year. The first 100 pages I thought it was going to be one of my favourite books of all time, and then I quickly realised actually maybe not. More thoughts up on my TikTok, but essentially I just feel like the world wasn't like truly built out enough for me, and there wasn't enough character development that I was looking for, and especially in terms of like the main characters' relationships. I thought the book was going in one direction and then it veered off in a completely different direction where it also didn't explain very much about the plot or the world or the magic. I might be getting rid of this one, but for now it can stay because it's pretty. Then we have the Fairy Loot editions of the Atlas 6 and the Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. I absolutely love this series. I think Olivia Blake is fantastic, which is why I also have the Waterstones edition of the Atlas 6, the self-published version of the Atlas 6, and a proof of the Atlas 6. I made the mistake of reading this and taking it out and about of me so the foilings come off, which is a bit annoying. This is my pretty tabs that I tried to colour match, and I'm very happy with how it came out. Also lucky enough to meet the author and the person that illustrates all of the character art within the book. Got that signed, which is really cute. Got this little diffuser because aesthetics, and then I have a Nico art print here. I kind of swap it around because I have art prints of all of the characters from the Atlas 6, so sometimes it's Nico, sometimes it's Libby or Raina, sometimes it's Tristan. I might keep it as Tristan today. He is looking mighty fine. Change of angle over here to the red side, red and silver side I like to call it. I've got this cute little book pot from Illumicrate. This is one of their items that they do like in their monthly box, like every couple of months. Then I have a proof of the Atlas Paradox, Illumicrate edition of The Wolf and the Woodsman. I love this book so much. If you're someone that enjoys enemies to lovers and you like fantasy that's darker and more gory, then you will really love this. Ava Reid is fantastic. This is The Rule of Wolves, but the Illumicrate edition, I took off the dust jacket because it's just so stunning. It needs to be displayed in all of its glory. I'm very excited for Shadow and Bone Season 2. Little Thieves, which I haven't read yet, but I've heard it's like a Goose Girl retelling. I will hopefully be reading that this autumn. I want to start curating my list of autumnal fantasy reads that I want to get to this year. Special edition copy of The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is also from Illumicrate. I love it. I've not read The Night Circus, and I know I truly need to because I've heard nothing but amazing things kind of about the writing and the prose and the storytelling. I definitely want to get around to this year as well. And over here, my shrine to The Final Strife by Sarah El Arifi. This is the Goldsboro edition, and I bought it after reading, actually when I was halfway through reading The Final Strife, I bought the Goldsboro edition because I just knew it was going to be one of my favourite fantasies of all time. And this edition is simply stunning. Next we will be taking a look at this shelf. There are a lot of books on here, not only the books at the front, but there are also books behind, so I'm actually just going to show you the books in front. On the side here, I've stuck up some things just because I think they look pretty, and also in the back of my TikToks it shows, and I just think it's super lovely. Art print from Legends and Lattes by Travis Bowdry. If you haven't read it, it's the ultimate cozy fantasy with amazing sapphic characters. And then I've got the Illumicrate 2022 calendar, guys. This is the 2022 calendars. I get so many comments asking me me where this calendar is from, and I'm a fraud because I'm just hanging up a calendar from last year. And speaking of which, it's actually February, so let me just change that. How pretty! Down here I have some character cards from As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow by Zulfika 2, and oh, these characters are just absolutely stunning. So, my beautiful top shelf. Here we have the Fairy Loot edition of Once Upon a Broken Heart. I've taken the dust jacket off, but I think it's absolutely so stunning. Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber is one of my favorite series, and The Ballad of Never After, I'd say, is one of my favorite books of all time. And I have this really cute mug that's inspired by Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sulin Tan, also another one of my favorite fantasies. I've put this kind of really cute bouquet of dried flowers in it, hoping that it gives off some kind of cute aesthetic. Here we have the Illumicrate editions of the Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn. I have not read these, but I do love the show, so at some point I would really like to get to them. Also, who's excited for season 3 of Bridgerton to be Colin's season? I have no idea what to expect, but I know it's going to be so good. Behind here, because I've had to get quite creative with my space. So here we have Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong, and this is the Fairy Loot edition. I wasn't the biggest fan of these Violent Delights, but Foul Lady Fortune was so good. I love the fake kind of marriage situation that the main characters are in, and I love that they kind of have to be together to be undercover for their mission. A normal Waterstones edition that's signed, but it was half price, so I was like, okay, let me buy it. I am trying to cut back on double copies, but when it's half price, I just can't say no. I might gift it to a friend, so we'll see. The UK hardbacks of Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After. One of my favourite series of all time, purely because of how magical and fantastical they are. I'm obsessed with Jax. Guys, can we please talk about book 3? I am so excited. Every day I think about that book. Ava and Jax must end up together, or Stephanie Garber, I'm going to find you. Okay, so over in this little corner over here, we have Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is the Owl Crate edition. I found it for £5 on eBay and I couldn't pass it up. And then these three here are the Gilded Wolves by Roshani Shotsky. I've kind of got them displayed because I like how simplistic the design is. I just think they're really beautiful. These are the Fairy Loot editions, and I hope to get around to them this year. I've heard it's kind of like Channel's A6 of Crows vibes, but set in Paris. So I think I'll really enjoy that. Over towards the back here, we have Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare as part of the Last Hours series, and I've got like these really nice Fane dust jackets on them. I'm currently reading Chain of Thorns as well, which is the third book in the Last Hours series, and I'm so sad to be saying goodbye to this series because honestly, I love the characters, and I love that Will Herondale makes quite a lot of appearances because he's the father of one of the characters, and I am a Will Herondale girly through and through. The fact that we get to see him as a dad is just... Underneath here I have the Bone Witch series by Rinja Pecco, and I bought these on a whim from Illumicrate, and I don't know when I'm going to get around to them. They do sound very interesting. They're also free to listen to on Audible, so if you're more of like an audiobook person, they're free to listen to on Audible. And then over here we have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I read this last year and I really enjoyed it. It's a gothic fantasy romance that channels a kind of like eerie forest vibe, and if you enjoyed Belladonna, definitely give this a go. Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, and then we have A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, and I did read this and I did enjoy it. It's kind of like Dracula retelling, but from the point of view of Dracula's bride. I've definitely appreciated the short chapters and the vibes and the themes that it explores. Definitely check the triggers though if you are going to go into this one. The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Shotsky, so the same author as The Gilded Wolves. I am halfway through this one at the moment, and it kind of gives off a gothic fantasy vibe with really beautiful prose, I suppose. But I got to a certain point where I was like, I enjoyed the beautiful prose, but also, is it just boring? Like, I don't know, I'm not really like connecting with these characters. And then here we have four whole copies of Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Webber. So this is a YA fantasy rom-com, which I really appreciated. It was honestly so funny, and it's about two twin sisters are separated at birth. One is left to be the princess, and the other one kind of is taken by the enemy of the story, I suppose, and trained to come and get her revenge and place on the throne one day. Fairy Loot edition! It came in one of the boxes, and I was so happy to have another edition of this book, The Wren and the Rose Proof. These books are just pure serotonin for me. If you are looking for a good time, read these. Read these. I'm on my knees for this part of the tour. The first cubicle of this shelf has the Throne of Glass series, Fire the Night by Bridget Kemmerer. If you enjoyed The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, you will really like this. Collector's edition of Throne of Glass, tour edition of A Court of Silver Flames, This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi, which is the Illumicrate edition. I'm currently reading this now because the second book is coming out this year. I'm really loving it. I don't know where this hand came from. But I want it gone. I hate this. I don't know, maybe I like it. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but it's just in the way, so we're going to get rid of that. I was also thinking of like jazzing up this cubicle. Cubicle? That's not the right word. Jazzing up this cube. I've got this lovely little statue of Leela Bard, who is from A Darker Shade of Magic. Got the Kingdom of the Wicked series by Kerry Maniscalco, and I read the first two. I haven't read the third one because all I've heard is bad reviews and it's just put me off. Like, I don't even know if I want to read it at this point. The Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. Oh my god, so lush, so whimsical. I love that in Stephanie Garber's series she always has like these protagonists that believe in true love and happy endings. There's something so pure about that. You kind of get a lot of heroines in books or like protagonists in books that are all about like killing and death, and this is just a nice change. Then we have These Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. Like I've said before, not one of my favourite series. They were good. Book Talk hyped them up a lot for me and I just thought they were good. Foul Lady Fortune, however, Chloe Gong's other series was very excellent. A Court of Silver Flames, the A Court of Thorns and Roses Collector's Edition. I love the second shelf so much. When I put it together, I was instantly obsessed. First we have Iron Widow by Ziran J. Zhao, and I have not read this, but it's on my list for this year. It is inspired by Chinese mythology and mecha science fiction, and it just sounds brilliant. Fairy Loot edition of Guild by Marissa Mayer, who wrote the Lunar Chronicles, and I was so obsessed with the Lunar Chronicles. I just haven't got around to this yet. I have 2 copies of The Invisible Life Addie LaRue because I did really love it. Vicious by V. Shaw as well. I haven't not read this book, but all I hear is good things. And here I have A Gathering of Shadows and A Conjuring of Light by V. Schwab, and this is part of the A Darker Shade of Magic series, which is where I believe this character is from. But I also have not read them. I am very behind on my V. Schwab reading. I put this cute little dragon here because my mum gave him to me. The tour edition of Crescent City, I found in a charity shop for £10. City of Dusk by Tara Sim. And then this one right in the corner is The Book Eaters by Sonia Dean. The second side I also really love. We have Only a Monster by Vanessa Lem. Guys, I love this book. I'm so excited for the sequel. It's a YA fantasy and kind of reminds me of Loki. There's like time traveling magic. I've got A Deadly Education, the trilogy, but I've put them in different places because they won't fit together. I'm actually halfway through A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, but I never finished it because, guys, this book is so info dumpy. And then we have the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare. Obviously, I'm a Will Herondale girly through and through. These books are my holy grail. My children will be reading them. My grandchildren will be reading them. One day my husband will be reading them. And then down here we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, one of my favorite like YA series. Someone who never thought that they were going to read thriller, now really enjoying thriller. So this is kind of like a good gateway if you kind of want to try a thriller but you don't want to read like adult thriller, just go for this series. Over here we have the Illumicrate set for Madeline Miller. So I've got the Song of Achilles and Circe. Came in this gorgeous slipcase. The spines of the book have quotes on them. Rare moments when another soul dips near yours from Circe. And for the Song of Achilles, it's I would know him in death at the end of the world. I've only read the Song of Achilles and I haven't read Circe, but I hear that most people prefer Circe. Down here in the bottom right corner we have kind of like contemporary romance shelf. I do have more contemporary romance than this, but this was all that would fit, so this is what we're going with. I have the Get a Life Chloe Brown series by Talia Hibbert, and this series is fantastic. Whenever someone doesn't know what to read, I always recommend them this. There's a good level of spice. My favourite would be Eve Brown, the third one. I have The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain. I didn't actually super love The Love Hypothesis, but I did enjoy Love on the Brain. People saying they don't like Love on the Brain and it's too similar to The Love Hypothesis. It's much more tolerable and enjoyable than Olive. The main character from the first book is insufferable and I hate her so much. Then I have my Emily Henry hardbacks from Illumicrate, and I've got You and Me on Vacation book lovers beach read, and I'm hoping that they will do a hardback for Happy Place so then I can match them all. Fairy Loot Heartstopper editions in hardback, and they are so cute. They have a nice sprayed edge, and then on the naked hardback, the really cute Nick and Charlie on there. Guys, I'm so excited for the second season of Heartstopper. I hope we don't have to wait too long. So now that you've kind of seen this cube shelf, I will twist you around so you can see the absolute chaos that is the side of my desk. Just piles on piles and piles of books that are stuffed. Like, look at that gap, and I have another layer behind that layer, so I'm not proud of this. I'll be doing a time lapse of hopefully me cleaning this up, so enjoy. And then this is kind of a jump scare, but this is my other bookshelf that I won't be showing today. Get the gist of how messy this corner is. It's literally my depression corner. Whenever I can't be bothered to tidy my room, I just kind of like throw everything in this corner. Maybe in my next video we can tidy this up together. If you got to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this slightly chaotic bookshelf tour. There will be another part sometime in the near future to show my other shelf, so stay tuned for that. In the comments, please let me know if there are any books that you saw today that I said I haven't read that I should really get to first. And in the meantime, you can find me at Sam Fallen Books on TikTok and Insta, and I will see you next time.